Here come the players. Let's find out how they're feeling and let's join John.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the hottest ticket in sport. We're coming to you live from magnificent Cardiff! And the Unibet Champions League of Darts, all brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation. Well, we welcome our viewers on BBC Sport and the millions joining us around the world. It's time to meet the boys from the Netherlands. Firstly, would you please welcome the legend that is the five-time champion of the world, Raymond, and Barneveld. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the current world #1 and the reigning two-time champion of the world, Michael.
Fourth and final match of the afternoon session here live on BBC One. We're looking forward to this in the company of Alan and Dan.
We certainly are, as the two greatest players ever to come from the Netherlands clash in their opening match of this year's Champions League of Darts. A debut for Raymond van Barneveld, back in the world's top 8, but taking on the world #1. Just look at the numbers there. 36 televised titles, 12 titles this year. And of course, the beaten finalist here 12 months ago, Mighty Mike, the world #1. Raymond van Barneveld, the man, no stranger to major success, 5 world titles, of course. He seems very pally up there at the moment. Might change.
Well, they're laughing about something that's obviously very relaxed and getting ready for the encounter, but certainly in sporting terms, they don't get much bigger than this one. A mouth-watering battle with Dutch legend Barney and the world #1 and world champion Michael van Gerwen. Well, all their previous encounters have produced the drama, the tension, the excitement, and of course, the high quality expected.
Well, what we have here is the man credited with putting darts on the map in the Netherlands, in Raymond van Barneveld.
So he was talking about me there, Dan.
Well, more worldwide, you are. Specifically talking about the Netherlands with Barney, but he takes on the man who, right now, as world #1, world champion, throwing world record averages, he is the figurehead for the sport as a whole, all over the world.
Yeah, when you look back at the history of darts, started with the Bristow era, I suppose, and then Phil Taylor for so many years and still here performing. But this young man really has produced the level of darts to an incredible standard. He really has. Won just about everything. He hasn't won this one yet, though.
180.
And Raymond van Barneveld kicks off with a 180 to suggest that he will do everything within his power to make life difficult for MVG to claim the one big TV title in BBC darts that he has not yet won.
And for both of them as well, when they play each other, it's almost a battle of wills against each other and forgetting about what they're actually playing for. They want to beat each other. They want to be the winner of the two Dutch legends. Well, fantastic start so far.
90. Likely require 121.
May need the bullseye himself here, Michael van Gerwen. Treble 17 is what he wanted. Just like that, the chance slips through his fingers. 91 for Barney. Could start bullseye, could go treble 17. Or single 3 is an option.
Oh, that's why we talk about the bullseye route so often. But he felt confident enough to go for the treble 17. So, chance for Van Gerwen for the opening leg. One dart at double 16.
32.
Oh, not happy with that one.
So, for a break of throw. And the break is exactly what Barney has. 1-0 to the 50-year-old from Den Haag.
Well, the key for me, as we mentioned so often, Dan, is certainly the start, not just for the scoreline, but really the thought processes in Barney's head. As we know, he's one of the game's great thinkers, and if he gets behind, we get the head shaking. When he's in front, he's the happiest man on the planet.
It is a curious beast, Raymond van Barneveld, as a dart player. He is capable of producing performances that other people just seem unable to do. And we saw that when he famously beat Michael van Gerwen a couple of years back at the World Championship in the last 16 in an unreal display. We saw it when he beat him in the final of the Grand Slam of darts. Raymond van Barneveld won the Premier League with an incredible run of performances and plenty of darts like this.
Yes, without doubt. He's a big game, a big match performer, loves a big stage in front of the TV cameras, and hungry for another title. Certainly one of those difficult groups, Dan, when you look at the 4 players in it, 25 world titles between them, plus numerous other ones. Very hard to get out of that group. But this is the big one. Ooh, needed. Well, they hit the ball. Didn't quite get the second treble 20.
Just slide over the top of that one, exactly like that for double 18, which he loves, but misses.
Well, it's his favourite double 18. Not on that occasion.
Game shot on the second leg. Michael van Gerwen.
Michael, a bit more aggressive there. Always so important, as any player will tell you, to get your first leg on the board as soon as possible. Don't want to give your opponent anything.
The thing is, we've seen with Michael van Gerwen in the last few years that you are never ever safe. It doesn't matter what lead you build up against him. You always feel at some point the afterburners are going to come on and he can reel you in from any position.
Taylor was very similar, wasn't he? It's their last 2 throws. All of a sudden, he seemed to be in command of the leg. He'll hit a big score and take a big shot out. That's why he's won what he's won. That's why he's world champion. That's why he's world number 1.
84.
The last time we saw Michael van Gerwen in big stage action was the match play this summer, and he went out to Phil Taylor in a surprisingly heavy defeat. Now, it was Michael van Gerwen versus Phil Taylor and an entire Winter Gardens crowd who had simply decreed that Taylor should win that week in Blackpool. How much will that have hurt MVG?
Well, every defeat he doesn't like. He's one of those players. You know, we forget sometimes his age. Quite a few years ago, if he was losing in a TV final, he was crying, he was upset, he was emotional, and we sometimes forget his age, despite being in the game for so long. As Barney hits yet another maximum, that's his 3rd.
Well, he's hitting 1 a leg, he's averaging 101, Raymond van Barneveld, and it could well be a 3rd break of throw here. Oh, that's awkward. Down for the 19s.
Well, he's not happy with that visit, is he?
38.
It would hurt even more if Michael can take out the 108. Tops. That would have hurt. That would have hurt Barney.
40.
Despite the sloppy visit of the last throw, he's got 3 darts at tops. Now for double 10. Yeah.
So on the third leg.
Happy with that one.
Fourth leg is Raymond to throw first. Raymond.
Raymond van Barneveld, his most recent win against Michael van Gerwen was in a league format in the Premier League earlier on this year. However, when you look at their meetings over the last couple of years, it is 12-2 in MVG's favour, and some of them have been heavy defeats. Because if you do beat Michael van Gerwen, you go on his naughty list, and that is not somewhere you want to be as a top dart.
140.
It's that player, isn't it? Even when he's behind in a match, you almost expect and feel
100.
that he's going to go 11-12, 12-11, something in the next 3 or 4 legs. He really does have that in his armour, and you can tell when he shows emotion after winning a leg that he's in that zone.
Well, I remember he won the last 4 legs of the match in the European Championship final a couple of years ago, beat Gary Anderson in Belgium. We've seen him do it, you know, won the Premier League this year when it looked like Peter Wright had him. Players Championship finals back in the last year, 6-0 down in the semi-finals to Darren Webster, and back he came and reeled him in.
He's got so much belief. Double 18. Oh, well, he's been missing a few doubles. Not too many at this stage, but they could be crucial when the totting up process comes up towards the end of the match. Shanghai needed.
Shanghai taken out, 120, and we've got a little bit of daylight between these two for the first time. 3-1 to Barney.
Well, from Michael's point of view, he won't be panicking yet. He knows he hasn't really got himself into the match in terms of scoreline, obviously, but not the intensity that we often expect. Well, Barney, I'm sure he'll have a little bit of wry smile in the back of his mind. 3-1 ahead.
There you see, Michael van Gerwen averaging 102, but 3-1 down. And the key reason for that, voila.
139.
1 out of 6 on the doubles. You expect that to improve over the course of this match.
Yeah, 1 dart at a double is kind of here and there, isn't it? They go in or they don't, but when you're having a few more, it can affect sort of going for the double on the next occasion. Didn't affect him there though.
Yeah, and that will be a satisfying one for MVG, hitting the double 12 at the first time of asking.
44.
That sequence we were mentioning before, 3 or 4 legs on the bounce, what these players can produce, particularly Michael.
56.
If you are doing that, you're only giving your opponent over the 4 legs, 2 legs of 9 and 2 legs of 12. And that's the important thing, it's stopping your opponent visiting the board. Because you cannot stop your opponent from scoring.
You must have had it in your career, I mean, you must have done it to people in your career, where one of you is on a roll and it just feels irresistible, a bit like this from Barney. And the only way you can stop their momentum is by chucking in a very, very good 11 or 12 dart leg. That's the only way to just stop them, otherwise they can just steamroll you and keep on winning leg after leg after leg.
That's right, that's what champions do, or winners of tournaments. They can reel off so many legs before you can blink an eye.
97.
Standard nowadays averages well into the hundreds on many, many occasions. You don't get that many opportunities. That's why averages rise, because players are playing much better, scoring better, finishing better. And that's why I'm in comms.
No real drama for Barney there. MVG back on 280.
Yeah, that's the important thing to remember there, Dan, as you said. From his point of view, he wanted to clinically hit it and move on to the next leg. That's what it's all about, momentum. You just need to get onto that little roll. And you can see the frustration there, despite knowing he's coming back to the board.
And now he might have problems. Now he might have serious problems because MVG's on top. Barney's got that awkward double five.
That double five was just shrunk to about half the size. Now this is a pressure shot. He should have won the leg by a canter, and he won it by the skin of his teeth. That was the reaction. Tells you the story there. It was relief. It really was.
Well, Raymond van Barneveld can be an enigmatic dart player. You don't know what Barney is going to turn up every time he takes to the stage. Sometimes it can be the absolute legendary world-beating Raymond van Barneveld. Other times it's a guy who doesn't seem to believe that he can win the game. But there are signs here that maybe this is the former. And Barney is ready to give the world #1 a very, very serious examination.
Well, he was so far ahead in that leg, he needed snookers. It took a foul shot towards the end that got him over the line.
Oh, Raymond. Raymond down to a finish. 5 maximums for the 5-time world champion.
134.
Fantastic scoring from Barney. This will be even better. This could be even better. Double 8 for 136. Oh, RVB!
Magnificent from Barney. 316 points seen off in 2 visits. It's another break. It's a 5-2 lead. We have already seen the world #2 battered by Mensur Suljovic this afternoon. Is the world #1 in danger of getting a hiding as well?
Oh, we talked about purple patches. He needs one pretty quickly.
And the chants of Barney Army echo around the Motorpoint Arena in Cardiff. And he is cruising, Raymond van Barneveld, 180 #6.
Well, it's raining maximums here in Cardiff.
39.
9 so far. Halfway through the 8th leg.
140.
At the moment, it's William Tell against Robin Hood.
53. Rendering 149. 57.
It's okay.
59.
Well, he leaves the 170.
92.
But will he get a throw? Michael not happy. Barney knows he is in a fabulous position.
Raymond van Barneveld is 4 legs away from only his 3rd victory against Michael van Gerwen in the last 2 years. And we know that Barney has the capability. He's done this before. He can hold his nerve. He has the bottle. He can see games out from this position. But as we said earlier, MVG is a man against whom you are never, ever safe. No lead is enough.
Well, he'll be very concerned. He won't be panicking yet.
99.
But he will be concerned. What he doesn't want to be is going into the 2nd and 3rd game knowing he has to beat Lewis and Taylor. Not an easy feat.
Well, 12 months ago, Taylor beat Michael van Gerwen twice here in Cardiff. Now the 170 It's on.
105.
This leg and one more before the break, and Barney applying the pressure.
139. I give it 165.
Needs to get this one. Two at tops. Only needed the one.
Michael Van Gerwen. Looks like it's Raymond to throw first. Raymond.
How crucial will this last leg be, Dan? 7-3 or 6-4? Huge.
6-4, you don't feel that Michael Van... I mean, it's barely even a deficit for the likes of Michael Van Gerwen. But 7-3 feels very different, doesn't it?
134.
You can see how the emotion there from Michael. He's angry with himself. He isn't playing particularly badly, let's be fair. Barney has taken out the chances when he needed to. Michael's just trying to get himself up to that next level. And he's getting there. He's getting there!
Time and time again, Michael Van Gerwen, when his back is against the wall, finds a way to produce something like his best.
95.
Double figures in the 180 column. Looking good
100.
for 6-4. Needs a ton at least, you feel. 60 won't help.
94. I give it
Good last start in the treble 18 though.
9 scored.
Big 20. Just checking his score. 60 left.
47.
Now then, this would be
154.
a fabulous finish. If he hits a treble 20, I feel sure he'll stay there. But he hasn't hit it anyway, so Michael Van Gerwen will return to reduce the deficit to 6-4.
Hitting around 1 in 3 of his doubles, Michael Van Gerwen. It has to go in these 3 darts, and it's going to have to be the last dart, and it doesn't. And that could be a hugely important factor in this game. Barney double 16, it is there. 7-3 to Raymond van Barneveld. The older man is in charge of this battle of the Dutch Masters. He is 3 legs away from condemning the world number 1 to an opening defeat in the Champions League.
One win apiece in the 2017 Premier League. Barney 7-5 in Manchester and MVG 7-2 in Belfast. But it's Barney who has the lead in this one, 7-3. And just to let you know, that final score follows us here on BBC One.
If Michael had gone in 6-4, he'd have been buoyant. I know he'd been losing 6-4, but he's just not been himself out there. He's afforded Raymond too many chances, and Raymond's taken every chance he's been given.
Yeah, Michael really doesn't like going for doubles when the thunderclap comes on. It's a la Phil Taylor at Blackpool a couple of months ago. But you've got to give credit to Raymond van Barneveld, because in this match he's been clinical on his doubles. He's had a couple of really big checkouts, a 120 that was very key, a 136 that was an absolute peach.
And he can do it in next to no time as well.
Yeah, there's been many times in the past where Michael Van Gerwen has been up against the wall, but he comes out swinging. Now he's got to swing in this first leg. If he's 8-3 down, it's curtains.
And just look behind you, because Raymond's out there already. So he just wants to get over and done with.
Absolutely, because the break came at the absolute wrong time for Raymond van Barneveld. It came at the right time for Van Gerwen, because he had the worst bit of his match, which was 3 darts, missed a double top. And he can put that aside now, because he knows what he's got to do. He can win this 10-7, Michael Van Gerwen, but he can also lose it 10 legs to 3.
And if you are Barney, there he is. You can see on your pictures now and your TV screens now, you can see Barney's out there just practicing away. You do exactly the same, wouldn't you, if you played the way he's played? Let's get on with this.
Yeah, just keep the rhythm. I mean, there's no panic on this opening leg of this session.
Here comes
anyway,
Michael now.
Because he's against the throw, so there's no alarm bells. He's got 2 breaks to throw. He's just got to hold. He doesn't have to break Michael. You know, he'll have a go on Michael's throw, but he's just got to stay solid on his throw.
Sometimes they say that darts is a very lonely sport, not just because you're on the road all the time, but nobody can help you when you're on that stage.
True.
But Raymond must be playing well at the moment and feeling very eager, because he couldn't wait to get back up there to get this job done.
Absolutely so. Okay, thank you very much indeed for now. Let's go back to Dan and Alan.
Well, there is one factor more important than any other in the game of Raymond van Barneveld, and it is belief. He talks about it all the time. If he believes, he can do anything. And today, it looks like he believes he can beat the world #1. But Michael van Gerwen is not done just yet.
Yeah, Barney's certainly one of the world's great thinkers in this sport. Uses the psychology of the game, focus. That's why he was out there on the stage practicing. Just wants to keep the momentum going in his game. He knows he's playing well. He knows Michael isn't yet on the top of his, so he's got to take advantage.
55.
At the moment he has, but still some work to do, Dan.
Yes, there is, and Michael van Gerwen is going to give him both barrels, I feel, in the second half of this game.
Well, he's doing the right thing, Van Gerwen, here. Just play it one leg at a time.
85.
Because you also get in your opponent's head as well with every leg you win. It's one of those strange situations in the game when you're so far in front,
85.
and despite still being in front, you know your opponent's coming back at you, and that's when all of a sudden the pressure, strangely enough, is on you.
Well, when he beat him at the Grand Slam, he managed to get a lead and just keep fending off Michael van Gerwen a few years ago. When he beat him at the World Championship a couple of years ago, again, he held him off as MVG came back strongly. And his comeback begins with a double 6 to make it 7-4.
Well, his first job was to win the first one after the break, which he's done.
91.
Now it's the next sequence. Ooh. Is it going to be a full house? Not quite, but he'll be happy with the visit.
Well, just to highlight this psychological thing that Barney has. When he played Michael van Gerwen at the Worlds, it was his grandson Mason's birthday, and it just inspired him. He just turned up at Ali Pali that night and convinced himself, I do not lose on my grandson's birthday.
134.
And he never looked likely to against Mike, even when van Gerwen was chucking everything at him. I mean, all Raymond van Barneveld has to do is get 364 more grandkids, each with a different birthday, and he'll be unbeatable, and that's 180 number 7.
It's almost that battle for Dutch supremacy as well.
91. Range require 130.
He's already had a 136. And bullseye for a 130. It's magnificent!
Well, that wasn't just in the bullseye. It was right in the centre of the bullseye.
100.
Right in the middle for diddle.
Don't underestimate this battle to be recognised as the man in Netherlands. Because obviously Van Gerwen is world champion, world #1 and throwing world record averages, but Barney is held in a very special place in Dutch darts fans' hearts for being the guy who made darts popular over there. And in the Premier League earlier this year, in front of 10,000 fans in Rotterdam,
83.
a significant chunk were there for Barney. Even Barney went full celeb mode and started referring to himself in the third person. A night of respect for Raymond van Barneveld, he called it.
Yeah, there was an orange sea. The fans there always turn out every year at Rotterdam. But Barney really is playing so smoothly. It's his 8th maximum, twice as many as Van Gerwen.
8 180s in 12 and a half legs of darts. And Barney is just looking to set this up. Uses the bullseye. Not the end of the world for Raymond van Barneveld. Should give him 2 darts for another break of throw, a 9-4 lead.
100.
And a max for MVG to pile on the pressure, but van Barneveld has stood up to this kind of pressure so far. Does that continue now?
Ooh, all about composure. He looks okay, just couldn't hit the double. Gerwen steps in. Little raise of the eyebrow. He knows he probably shouldn't have won the leg, and that's not his fault. Back to 8-5. Crucial leg, this one, as they all seem to be at this stage of a match, Dan.
So a savage deflection with that last start there, but he still has got his nose in front.
Strangely enough, only needs that one break to really break the psychology part of the match from Ethan Barney. If he does win this leg here and then win his throw, one leg away, and that's when your mind, you're almost playing against yourself, you're tormenting yourself because you know you were so far in front and then all of a sudden it's a close game. Determined look on Van Gerwen, but he's not happy.
Well, Michael Van Gerwen is averaging just shy of 100. That is a solid display, but MVG over the last year or so, he looks more likely to average over 110 when he goes on stage than he does average less than 100. So he will be disappointed.
And he's also had Barney taking out good shots. The 136 and the 130 were the key at times when he was on a finish or on a double.
He can't do it again, can he? He can't do it again. Oh, no, he can't.
96.
Now then, 62. Will he get one dart at the double or two? Needs a 20 for one dart at double 16. Well, it's the fourth occasion in the match he's only had one dart at the double and missed it, and Barney stepped in to take the leg.
One away for Raymond van Barneveld. 9-5 to the five-time world champion. And the world number one has no other option. He has to win 5 legs on the spin.
Well, we sometimes say the last leg's the hardest one to win. But when you're so far in front, the first thing you've not got to do is relax too much and think you've made it. You've still got the work to do to get that last leg.
137.
First things first. Attack this leg and see if you can do it in this one. If not, take it to the next one.
Too many visits without travel for Michael Van Gerwen in this game. It has hurt him. His average in the first 9, the first 3 visits of each leg, is only at 106. Now, Michael Van Gerwen, his average game, it's up much closer to 120. You expect him to be piling in the ton 40s and ton 80s at the start of legs. That just gives him a platform to then pile that pressure on his opponent. It's not really happened, and again we see it.
Certainly changed the group dynamics as well when we look at this evening's fixtures. Whoever does lose this match, it's going to be really under pressure in the second game of this Group A encounter.
56.
And right now it looks like the world number one, last year's beaten finalist, is going to lose this one, because Barney's got 2 match darts. And there it is, superb from Raymond van Barneveld. He has beaten the best player in the world 10 legs to 5. Barney will take on Phil the Power Taylor tonight here in Cardiff for the top spot in Group A, this group of death with 4 world champions in it. And Michael Van Gerwen, well, can't afford any mistakes now, can you, Mike?
Yeah, wonderful performance by Barney. Gives himself a wonderful win against the world champion and world number 1. But from Michael Van Gerwen's point of view, he's got to dust himself down and get himself ready for his second encounter this evening.
The Dutch Masters rounding off the afternoon session, and the senior man Raymond van Barneveld victorious, 10-5 against MVG. Work to do for Van Gerwen.
What an amazing performance from Barney. 18th career win over Michael Van Gerwen, and the crowd sing Barney Army. That was brilliant.
Very unpredictable indeed, and I have to eat my words, don't I? Because I said that Raymond van Barneveld didn't have it in him to thrash Van Gerwen. Well, he's thrashed him, and these new darts that he's using now he's unlocking something. And now if he can take this game into tonight, tomorrow and the rest of the season, he's going to make some people worry.
Absolutely. Let's bring you right up to date then with how the groups are looking then in the Champions League here in Cardiff. What a fantastic afternoon of darts we had. It's Barney who tops Group A, Phil Taylor also winning, and Adrian Lewis and Michael van Gerwen now fighting to stay in the tournament. And Group B looks like this. We've also had a surprise today with Gary Anderson losing. It's Mensa Suljovic, the man who beat him at the top. Peter Wright also winning his match over Dave Chisnell. So thank you very much indeed to Mark and to Paul for their company for now. We are leaving you. Final score up next with Jackie Oatley, all your day's football scores, and then we're back at 6:45 on BBC Two. We shall see you then. Bye for now.
Oh no, don't leave me hanging like a spider with no fly, 'cause I'll be banging on the walls, 'cause I'm too dry to cry. Oh no, don't leave me hanging like a spider with no fly, 'cause I'll be banging on the walls, 'cause I'm too dry to cry.